I do got a question about again on the topic of I think y'all was talking about stealthing or some shit like that. You know what? Scratch stealthing. I think somebody said, I don't know if it was this panel or one before, but we asked the particular person, hey, look, if your wife was violated and she ended up getting pregnant and you told her, hey, you need to get a and she said, no, I don't believe in and I want to keep it. Would you divorce her? Is anybody on the panel would divorce their wife if she decided to keep the seed of the man who
Yeah.
Probably so. Because for me, it's so
Yeah.
crazy to hear that because I know my wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you keep that? Like, really? Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be so far fetched from who I know my wife to be. Something we'd probably have to change some things because that's not who I know her to be. You know what I'm saying?
so
But
is she justified to divorce you if you got and a woman that you decided to keep your seed?
Um,
No.
I personally don't think that's the same thing
Why not?
because here's the thing, me like let's say for instance a man, right? He comes into a new relationship with a child. The stepmother doesn't look at it, she's not looked at like, oh, now I have to, pay all his bills and just take care of this child. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you have to provide for whatever family you bring in. As a woman, you might just have to nurture, right? But it's not like you're looking at it where, oh, I'm gonna have to, like, a lot of times women, they don't care because they're not gonna even see them kids like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not as big of a burden, I think, on a stepmother than it is a stepfather. I think it's just
well,
it's a different burden.
I think we're confusing this, right? Because we're saying this under the guise of someone being right, and I don't think any man on this panel is against uh when when is the cause, right? Am I correct in that? So like any of us wouldn't say, hey, look, some dude you and you decide that, like we wouldn't be against her getting rid of the child. So I would expect that if a man was forced, that you know what I mean. I don't
Or
think
life threatening conditions, Sweeney. If your life is in danger by carrying a
right.
pregnancy, I don't got no
Yeah,
issue with it.
like I
Oh,
said,
because I thought I heard MY say when I was listening that I think he started his premises on baby's life or something like saving baby or taking babies' lives or murdering babies or something like
I
that.
did say that. I did say that.
So was that like devout or I mean like is that conditional or that's conditional, right?
So in extreme cases, I think that it could be
You-
warranted, but it has to be early on too. Like so, say she 35 weeks pregnant from a, then I would just say put the baby up for adoption. I wouldn't want like it's fully a baby at that point. Right.
I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to digest how a woman would feel in that situation, carrying a baby 35 weeks and being told that you got to get a baby up for adoption. Because I'm just assuming that there's some type of psychological or emotional connection carrying a child, and only the woman can explain that. So I don't know if she would. I don't know if many women would be okay with that. And a woman on the panel could speak if they, you know,
let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm not
Let's
raising
go.
enough man babies. That's
Yeah.
not.
Oh, we gotta be cool with that R word, but let's get the ladies in there. Sherelle, go ahead.
Um, I just think it's like this lady has like a really bad attitude, and she's like being very domineering to say that she's the host of it, and she's kind of like ruining the conversation because conversations are usually different perspectives trying to paint a bigger picture, and she's kind of drowning out everybody else's perspective with her perception of the way things should be. So I just think that it's just untactful, and I would probably think if anybody had to watch this, it'd have been like very cringe. Um, that activated, not activated shit is just some bullshit that's trying to make people feel like they better than the next person because they think they know something. The moment that you feel like you know something better than the next person, oh, I'm woke, oh, I'm activated, oh, I'm better. It's just some separative bullshit. Like, just it's just you have an ideology that you're going down, whether you know if it's true or not, but you're so excited to learn new information. You think you're better than the next person who don't know the information, and you don't even know if the information is true. You willing to pass it on. So I think that's all that activated stuff is about. It's just another term to make yourself feel like you're more important than the next person. Oh, I'm out of the matrix. I beat the system. Sure. Okay.
What does she mean by black women tell white women what to do? And also I think she stated that black women can raise the kid on their own or something like that. I'm trying to figure out where she got this idea from.
Could I answer the question?
Her mind.
Go ahead, Ruth.
Just before you switch the topic, Don. I know a lady who was by her dad, and she had her son. So her son is technically her brother as well. So, but she really loved her son. She was like one of those people that wasn't in long-term relationships and things like that. So I would be more like open to hearing from women that actually had the child, how they feel about it. Because I was looking in the Bible and it was saying, somebody called me a Bible thumper, Trev. But I had to check because sometimes you think like the kid is going to be exactly like the parent. And in the word, it says like what the dad did has nothing to do with the child. So it really should be the woman's choice what she wants to do, because some people really don't believe in the A word. They don't believe in it, so they feel like it's something wrong. And a lot of women, when you ask them like, okay, you did it, but there's a part of their soul is like broken. So something is happening spiritually there that we have to acknowledge. So when we all talking for like, we're not going to talk about those consequences spiritually for the rest of your life. You're going to feel some type of way that you did this. And it's just like when you're younger and you are peer pressured and everybody's doing a certain thing. When you did it, you're like, dang, I regret that. I never should have did anything like that. Because every time I hear the story about a woman that had the A word, they always come back and say, well, that one time, when they're in therapy or whatever, they always talking about the detriment of that, how it made them feel. So I would say that not every time that the girl has to delete the baby because something bad happened to her. Life is like that sometimes. I'm not saying she should be forced, but she should have a choice. And if parents can decide if a kid can have a kid, then that's another situation we got to talk about, because how can you, because your child is under 18, do they have the choice? I've known parents that said that they had to get the A word, you know what I mean? And so, and that kid might not want that. So
I also don't think a man's morals should be a reaction to a woman's morals or her decision. Like I think somebody stated that if women can decide that they can, then a man should be able to decide that he can walk away.
Yeah.
I think men should hold themselves at a higher standard and literally appreciate their seed, and hold it as one of the most powerful things that they can produce in the world is your seed. It brings life. So for you to just walk away from your seed it's just it's just terrible to think of that. Like, I don't care if it was a mistake, one night stand or whatever. I'm not walking away from my seed. I don't care. And I think if all men carry themselves like that, with that type of moral, we won't have this situation. We won't have these situations. A woman can say she don't want it or she want it. If she says I'm more of a guy that if a woman is trying to my my seed and I know I'm bringing life into it, I don't care in any circumstances. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, or I'm gonna try to persuade her. Look, keep the seed. That's my seed. If you don't want to take care of the child, give me the full right to the child, and I'll take care of the child myself. Please don't my seed.